Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by 3Chi and Barstool Sports. It is Robbie Fox, my co-host Clem, and you see we're in a new studio. If you're watching on YouTube, it's the KFC radio studio. Haven't been in here for a while.
The upside down.
Yeah.
We have done Stranger Things pods from this
From
studio
here? Yeah.
for My Mom's Basement. We did it for Stranger Things 3 for
without
sure.
Me, you mean like just this,
No,
with
with
me.
you, yeah.
We've teamed up a few times. We did some Stranger Things. We did the original Stranger Things. Remember that, the old Office?
Oh yeah,
That was
with Trent.
We did like a 4 or 5 hour thing, right? We
Yeah,
broke
it was
down.
long.
We had to release it in like 3 or 4 sections because we got crammed into that little studio that's been described as the inside of a lit cigarette.
That's a good way
and
to put
a
it.
white person's trap house.
Yep.
And we just that was for season 1 when Stranger Things was the phenomenon that it has become. It was new and it was like holy shit, and they were literally kids, and we just did like 4 hours on it.
I think it was my
great.
first time on KFC radio.
Probably, yeah.
Ever,
And
yeah.
I think I remember being like, what you just said, that's why I kind of laughed in my head. You were like, we'll just do like 30 or 40 minutes. I remember being like, we'll just do like a normal podcast. We were on episode like 2.5.
Yeah.
And we were like 3 hours in.
Oh, I forgot about that. We made like notes for every episode and like
we
went through it.
We were like
yeah.
1 page in, and we were like an hour in. I was like, oh boy.
I still think about a joke that Fights made during random television shows now when 11 shows up. I think it was like season 2 we went into and did that as well. And he was like, it was like the Kanye, step up in this bitch like.
Yes.
And now
yes.
whenever that happens in shows, I think of that song.
Well, yes. I mean, that she's still having those moments.
She
to this day,
still has
season
those
4.
moments, yeah, where she just shows up. So spoilers
to
for
do that.
Stranger Things season 4. If you didn't watch Stranger Things season 4,
What are you doing?
I feel like, this is going to be, we're going to talk about everything. We're going to go kind of broad strokes throughout it. We've done quick hitters on every episode. We did just like 15 minutes. We called it what we would have tweeted. Like basically
like
if
that,
this was
yeah.
live, we
Here
took
are all my
notes on.
thoughts, yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of season 4 as a whole? Because I think we were both like over the moon about it.
Yeah, I thought, okay, well here, what I first was, I was very high, and then I got very low for a quick second. I thought this was the final season. And
So did we.
So did we.
Yeah.
Why did we all think that and we're wrong? Was there ever like an? I could have sworn, maybe it's some Mandela effect shit. I could have sworn they were like the final chapter or some
Agreed.
shit like that. So I was like, this is it. And I even thought it was it like a couple, like as we started to watch.
Oh.
So when I found out there was an episode, once I learned that there was a second half, I really thought, because that's how they end them, you know, a lot of times there's 2 halves to the final season. And then when I found out it wasn't, I was a little bit down because I was like, oh, this is just like another bad guy who's not like the bad guy. But then quickly came back up just because I thought it was awesome. I just thought the things that they did were great, and I thought it. Obviously, we know how it ends, where we finally see the where we're gonna do the Mind Flayer battle. But I went into it being like, this is it. And when you go into it with that mentality and then you don't get it, it's a little bit of a letdown. They must have done something with marketing that we all thought that. John thought that. A lot of people thought it was the final season, and it obviously wasn't. So
even the run times, right? That was like
Yeah,
one
when
thing
you-
where
when
you're
you're
like,
doing those
every episode's an
extra-
hour and a half and the finale's 2.5 hours.
Also, just do not get the idea behind that 2-hour, 20-minute episode when there clearly were breakpoints.
Yes.
Where I was like,
Yeah,
that should have
true.
just been the end of an episode. If for no other reason than just like rewinding and trying to find spots.
And also having like, if they would have put it out as like, hey, there's 4 episodes in part 2 or something, it would have felt like, oh, cool, we have like a big chunk.
a 2-episode, I don't care about minutes and runtime. If you tell me there's 2 episodes to a half a season, I'm going to be bothered by that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
annoying.
Agreed.
So those are logistical things. I thought I'll quickly just say the things I'm a little critical of so we can get back to the fun stuff, because I know this is always more about the good side of things. I feel like we did the Steve and Dustin thing like again, huh? We just
Yeah.
kind of did
Yep.
that. Like
He
if it
got
ain't broke,
stuck as a
don't fix it.
babysitter again.
But like those two, the first time it was the awkward couple because he's the cool guy and he was a little bit of like a villain in a way in the very beginning.
Definitely.
And then Dustin was the goofy guy, and then they gelled together. So I'm sure they said, let's just do it again. And they even make jokes where Steve was kind of like, this guy again, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, we're doing that. And I feel like this is like the 3rd time we've done Elle lost her powers and needs to get them back to fight the big fight. And that always leads to the moment we just described where it's like, bitch, what? I'm here.
When
which
she
is
shows
always
up in the
cool.
final episode of this one, that was a
Very cool.
moment. That was
I
like,
think
oh,
they just
shit.
like doing that because it's like, we're fucked. They do a very good job of like, we're going to die. We have no shot. And the viewer, you're okay, but you're like, how are they going to do this? And then it's like, boom, door kicks.
And I
open,
feel like
no one's
every
there.
season they have a little moment of like, is someone in the main crew going to die this time? And again, that doesn't happen.
That was my other thing. I thought that they should have slaughtered one of those kids.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Max, who knows, right? We're left with a little bit of a cliffhanger. I thought for a second when she got her bones
I was like,
broken,
oh,
I
she's a
thought
dead
she was gone.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
they're going to do it. And then the last thing, I hated that jock. I think he could have.
Jason?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think there
He
was any
wasn't-
reason for him.
He wasn't great. I thought the way that him and his little goons, his henchmen, like disturbed the final plan was
Sure.
good in terms of being like, oh, are you fucking kidding me?
It's
We
just
were
like
so
a wrench
close.
in the plot. But I
Yeah.
also was just like, we don't. Need
I thought
this.
one of the scariest scenes of the season was when they were all out on the lake at night and Vekna was like pulling them underwater through the portal.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
talking about that on our quick hitters where we were like, being in a lake at night is just like terrifying
Horrifying.
as
If
itself.
I can't see the bottom or know that I'm in like a man-made thing, I'm kind of out on that.
I'm out,
Yeah.
especially at night.
A lake too. Oceans, you got movement and shit. A lake is just like there's a monster under there just chilling.
I think Jason Voorhees right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God.
And there's always woods near the lake, so then
Right,
you're
so
dealing
yeah,
with
you
the
can't,
woods
like-
and the
You
lake.
can't just like get out and get to the main road or whatever.
No.
You're isolated. You're fucked.
He got a good that was a satisfying death. He gets ripped in half, and I was like, yes,
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
you.
Fuck that
As
guy.
Lucas is just pouring tears. I said it was the
know.
most incredible crying since No Sean Moreno. I've never seen a man cry so good in
Those
my
are
entire life.
huge ass tears.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were a couple like moments of criticism, but the rest I thought were like.
What did you think about Eddie dying? Because like I think that's the thing where people like Bob dies, the guy who loves the Slurpees. I think Alexi dies. Even that dude Benny's Burgers, like in like the first episode, who's in,
Yeah.
like they kill good people in the show all the time.
I think that's what they give you, like hey, we're a serious show that's not afraid to kill people, but we're not going to kill the main people.
Yeah.
And that's a good way of doing it, where it's like they very quickly built up a very cool character that people liked or connected with or whatever, and then that will be your I can't believe it moment.
Yeah.
Where like
He went from almost banging the Ted cheerleader to dying in
Yeah,
like
I
6
know,
episodes,
I
man. That's
know.
just brutal.
His finale with Master of Puppets, though, pretty
Oh.
fucking sick.
that was like kind of solidified the moment. Although even in my head I was thinking, I was like, there's probably a much more practical way to make noise.
Yeah.
than get an amp.
Yeah,
like,
he's, like,
why don't
plugging
you
everything
just
in.
play the music and run away.
The outlets apparently work in the upside down as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, little things that are just like whatever. You can play a concert in the upside down. No big
Yeah, you
deal.
can play a concert.
But that was very cool. Like he's got the countdown. He's fucking ripping. I don't like when shows are too pussy to kill people. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why Game of Thrones shined. It was like we'll make this the main character and we'll fucking kill him right in
Do you
your face.
feel like they almost ruined it? I saw an article saying that Game of Thrones did ruin it by bringing Jon Snow back and people just being like, oh.
Oh yeah, that was a little bit of a cheat code.
Yeah.
But that was also in the book, man. Like that's how that
True.
goes. You know, like if,
True.
if somebody wrote that, that's how. If the TV writers came up with that, I'd be like, this is some bullshit.
Also,
You're
George
undoing
R.R. Martin
Yeah.
pisses me off so much. I know he pisses everybody off, but the quote this week where he's like, don't worry, my final book is going to be much different than the show. It's like, just put it out, dude.
Just
stop
fucking
talking
write
about
Yeah.
it.
And also, then you're a dickhead because you told everyone the first time around that you like co-signed.
Exactly,
everything they
yeah.
were doing.
He said he was
So-
like overseeing everything,
Yeah,
right?
it's
And
like,
kind of
clearly
gave
you
them
weren't.
some pointers.
He probably did, and then was like, never mind.
Oh,
no, I
people
didn't.
hated
that,
it?
shit,
Yeah.
that shit does suck. It's like, that was your book, dude. You told him everything was
Poor
good.
Kid Harington. He tried to go do other stuff and didn't.
Now he's back.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sure he pitched because they said HBO like heard his pitch and
Yeah.
liked it. So I'm sure him and his people showed up like, how about this, please? 'Cause
I wonder
need another
when he
job.
thought of that too. Like when the finale came out and everyone hated it, was it immediate where he's like, "Fuck, let's go back"?
I bet you it was when he did a couple movies where and I think they were probably like, oh, so you're only like 5'5", huh, or whatever.
They were like,
He's a
"We'll throw you in the
short guy."
Eternals for 5 minutes."
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. And then when that didn't work, it was probably like, I'm Jon Snow.
He has
Yeah.
good puppy dog eyes too. Like,
Oh, the girls
please,
love him.
George,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you let
I'm
this,
actually surprised he didn't find a little landing spot for
Is he
himself.
still with Ygritte?
Yeah, I
real
think they're
life?
married. I think they
good.
just had a
Married,
baby
yeah.
and everything.
Good,
yeah,
good for
yeah.
them.
Nowadays, I think gone are the days of being typecast. I think if you're good, you break out.
Yeah.
Whether
I
it
think you're
started
right.
with, like McConaughey and Jim Halpert did it with Jack Ryan and
Like Tom Hardy, I think of is in so many different
Sure.
roles too. Like his
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders
you
role
can
is
be
way different than
funny. You
Bane.
can be serious. You can do it all as long as you're good. So nowadays, I think back in the day, it was for sure. Like if a movie star did a TV show, you were trash. And if you did rom-coms and funny things, I just read an article about Tron. About
yeah. The new one or the old one?
the old one, or it wasn't even called Tron back then, was it? There was something else. Jeff Bridges did a movie that was eventually Tron like used everything.
I was never into that franchise.
It was the first it predated Tron. It was all about being inside a video game.
Yep. And
someone said, "Why would you risk your career as an actor with the reputation you built up by doing this silly sci-fi thing?" And he was like, "Because this shit slaps." They said it was the precursor for The Matrix and Ready Player One, and the whole idea of being inside of a game,
which is the precursor to this in a weird way.
Right,
There's Matrixy elements in the finale, especially.
Totally, yeah.
I saw it. Cool. I was watching TV on break, and they kept showing the commercial over and over for, I guess, Dustin's in a new movie or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, is he gonna make it? Like, I don't know if that actor's gonna make it. I hope he makes it.
Like Millie Bobby Brown, she's making it.
She's making it, 100%.
Sadie Sink, she's making it.
Hot take. I don't know if this is 11 or Millie. I think it's terrible acting.
Really?
I think it's maybe because she's supposed to be 11.
Because she's acting like socially awkward.
Like a child, like still. But when she's just like, "Don't worry, I've got it." And I don't know. It probably is more the character than
there's
anything.
Not like as much required out of her in the scenes where she's not like screaming or
I think a lot of her acting is nonverbal. And just being who she is and her look, as opposed to like her soliloquies, if she will. But it's just like, I love you. I guess it is supposed to be more about like that's how 11 acts. But
I think also too. I think if you watched them, maybe if you binged them or you remembered everything, the 11 character would make more sense. I forgot. I thought Papa died. I thought Papa died 3 different times.
Papa died like in multiple seasons.
I thought he died in the first season, and if he didn't the second season, I thought Murray was dead. I thought so every time these guys were on scene, I'm like, when the fuck did these guys? I thought all these guys.
Dr. Owens.
Dr. Owens.
I have a idea when I run for president that one of my presidential platforms is going to be after every episode of every show, there's a recap that has all the necessary things for this episode, and after beginning every season, I need a full ass fucking recap.
So they gave one. I skipped over it by accident, and I went in like legitimately blind to this one.
And especially Stranger Things, where I'm actually thinking this next season's going to pick up right there because
it has
2 days later, right?
But Stranger Things tends to pick up with like a summer's gone by and everyone's like at camp or whatever, and it's like
mostly because the kids were getting older. Which in this season especially, you look at Will and you're like,
I can't believe
you're a grown man with a child's haircut.
They're gonna be. They're going to have, like kids.
They got to film like immediately.
No, I think they said they're jumping ahead. I think I read somewhere that the Duffer Brothers said they have to do a jump ahead because I think they realize puberty is here.
Right with the fucking
I know. How do you?
Because I think it's like
that must be thwarted right away. Somehow.
It's like the war has gone on for a year or whatever. I think they're
fighting the whole time.
I think they just realized they cannot fight puberty. They cannot fight.
It's the one monster that they can't fight.
And when did they wrap? If they wrapped in 2020, like when I don't know how COVID fucked all this up.
I think probably before COVID, I thought, and then
so
like the VFX took so long.
They started filming with the pandemic.
Like Lucas
and
is fucking.
Lucas is an adult.
He's like a 5-star recruit. He's like at the combine tomorrow. Also, I mean that report or rumor that Millie Bobby Brown wanted to play Leia as in the Star Wars thing. Like, so if something like that were to happen and one of these guys gets like a dream role, they're gonna be like, well, we gotta put that on hold. Like,
it's almost like Euphoria. Have you heard that? Like, they can't reshoot Euphoria because Zendaya's she has so much on her schedule. Yeah, she's got Dune, Spider-Man.
I'm gonna call it now. Put Zendaya down for the next billionaire.
Ooh, that's a good call.
Hollywood billionaire. She'll have her own.
Yeah, she's gonna have her own makeup. She's gonna have everything. Yeah.
Done.
Although, do you think Sydney Sweeney's gonna beat her there based on she has all of the lines already?
What do you mean she already has?
I think she's got skincare and she's got the shit in Sephora now.
That might be true, but I feel like Zendaya could come out with like Z.
Yeah.
Like Z by Zendaya, and it's like
I want to buy it already.
Yeah.
Shout out Tom Holland too. I still can't believe he.
What a couple, man.
MJ and Peter Parker. Yep. Like that warms my nerd heart. Them being together.
I always love that when
that shirt is amazing.
But you know what I noticed about the Met shirt and the scene in the movie, and I pointed this out to Clem.
Is it worded wrong?
Peter Parker's thumbs are CGI.
Next to he's holding the phone.
He's holding the phone. His thumbs are clearly.
It fucks with you.
They look like, you remember those old thumb movies like Thumb Wars? They made like a Star Wars out of thumbs.
Why the hell would they do
It is the weirdest looking thing. See if you could find the shirt, because I noticed it, and now if I watch like Spider-Man No Way Home, I can't rewatch that scene the same way. I'm like, oh, animated thumbs.
Yep, it fucks you up. I love too how Tom Holland and Zendaya. It's like always fun when the couples end up becoming they date off screen, just like
no, the white one.
Nancy and Jonathan. They date in real life.
Look at those thumbs. Yeah, Nancy and Jonathan still together.
Yep.
Which their
Nancy
scenes
is such
together,
how
I was
old is
like,
Nancy? Can I talk
That's a
about
good
her?
question.
No.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She's very pretty. She's hot, but she's got like a child-like. She looks like young too, like a baby face.
Kinda.
So I'm always kind of like, this is weird.
I wrote every blog.
The thumbs are huge.
and in the movie they look weird. They don't look like they actually look better on the shirt because I feel like the printing
chick thumbs. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Or I guess those are her
Zendaya's
thumbs.
Those
No,
are
'cause
Zendaya's.
that's. Oh, no, wait.
because she's
talking
holding
to
her
him.
phone,
Right.
talking to him on FaceTime.
Right. But, okay. So then, where's his thumb?
I guess his thumbs aren't in. These are the thumbs
oh.
I'm thinking of though.
Oh, okay.
In the movie, those are so
look even
CG,
weird.
it's insane.
That's like American Sniper when they had the fake baby.
The baby, yeah.
So weird.
A show kind of that reminded me of some elements of American Sniper. Are you on the terminal list yet?
I started it, but the very first scene is like 18 straight minutes of like.
Yeah, it is.
And I was like, it was late at night, and I was like, I can't. I want to get to the plot.
Just a side
So
note off
anyway.
the Stranger Things thing. If you just finish Stranger Things and you need a new show, Terminal List, Amazon Prime. I would highly recommend it. I got one episode left.
We're gonna plug real quick. It's still the most underrated show. I'm on season 3 now. For All Mankind. If you're into space, it's I think
on
me and-
Apple, right?
Yeah,
I
think me
see
and Zach are
commercials
the
for that,
only
and I
two people in the
always
world
think,
who
like,
watch
is
it.
that good?
It is so awesome, and it is so jam packed with plot. And they almost rip
Plot.
through it. Like, like they'll just be like, and then this person's kid died, and then this person. They'll also be like 3 years later. They just keep it moving. Like
I'm gonna have to check it out.
They're just like, okay, we're on Mars now. Like boom, they're doing crazy shit. But if you're into space, and NASA and all that, and it's also, I remember being so pumped for The Man in the High Castle.
Yeah.
I love History Reimagined.
Yeah.
And I thought Man in the High Castle absolutely sucked. And so this scratches that itch where it's
It's
a
if
different
Russia made
world.
it to the moon first.
If Russia made it to the moon first, and what the implications would be, and then they do every season they do these little montages about where the world's at, and so they'll be like the number 1 overall pick, Michael Jordan, instead of going to Bulls, you go like the Trailblazers have selected Michael Jordan, and different presidents win. They're like
I like shit like that.
Yeah, it's like I think Ted Kennedy at one point was president or something like that. Different people get assassinated. It's very cool.
Watchmen did a couple things like that.
They
which
did
I-
do a
which I
couple
dug
of
as
things
well.
like that. Yeah.
All right, I got to cut the podcast off again to tell everyone about HelloFresh, one of our favorite advertisers here at My Mom's Basement. HelloFresh delivers fresh, quality produce from the farm to your door in less than a week, so you can savor summer flavors right from home. Choose from 55 plus weekly options featuring pre-portioned, high-quality ingredients picked at peak ripeness. This stuff is the best. They've got the Old Bay shrimp and sausage boil, the family-style grilled steak lettuce wraps. I love HelloFresh. It's easy to cook. They give you all the ingredients, the instructional menu. Anyone can do it. And it's affordable as well. It will save you some money, but it's still restaurant quality. Foolproof step-by-step recipes. Go to HelloFresh.com/Robbie16, ROBBIE16, and then use that promo code Robbie16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/Robbie16. Use the promo code Robbie16.
Couple of our favorite moments of the season let's talk about now. One being episode 2, the ending where 11 bashes that chick's face in with a roller
Angela,
skate.
that
Just
dude.
amazing.
Cunt. We could say cunt,
Cunt.
on this.
Yeah, she's a cunt.
She's a cunt.
See
She's been
you
announced.
next Tuesday. I couldn't tell. I said I think they intended that to be a moment of like, ew, L. But I think the whole audience was like, "Fuck yeah,
Yeah, she
Right?
deserved it.
Go
You make
back
fun of
and
someone's
kill her.
dead dad like that
Yo, she got mashed in. She got world star.
when the blood like
The blood when the
dripping
blood starts
down.
going.
Yeah.
That's one of the few things on the internet I really can't watch anymore are people like defenseless getting fucking
Yeah.
whooped and a roller skate to the fotch. I was like,
And then
Yeah,
the
but I was like,
dialogue about
yes.
it too. Then the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
episode to begin, and they're like, yeah, our guy was like, yeah, dude, that's why they make them out of rubber, so you could smash someone's face in it. He was a great addition, we thought.
yeah, I loved him. But that bitch, what was her name?
Angela?
Angela, I believe. Yeah.
Not just a true blue mean girl villain type, like smash.
They built her up so well to be a villain in like 2 episodes too. It
Did
was
we-
making fun of the diorama. 11 tries to use her powers in front of everybody, which is like a secondhand
Your
embarrassment
dad's
moment.
dead.
And the dad was like, come on.
Yeah.
I really thought we were building towards there was multiple times where I was like, she's gonna get her powers. She's gonna show her.
Yeah.
Like, and especially that moment where she's kind of
Where
like, what are you gonna do about it?
is she fine?
I'm hoping that
no, she's-
somehow the
she's
crack
in a
from
coma,
the
she's dead.
earthquake kills her ass in Los Angeles.
I hope
they
it
brought her
didn't
back.
kill her because I want to see her death.
I want to see her death in
Yeah.
season 5. That's
Yeah.
the number one wish on the
Slow
wish
and
list.
painful.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish Vekna cracked her up.
There is nothing that can happen to her that I would not be happy about in terms of horrendous Vekna murder.
Send her to Russia and let her get.
Yeah. Send her to.
We thought the Russia stuff was eh.
I thought what they should have done in my mind, they had too many
Jumps.
plots going.
Yeah.
Like they had the Arizona crew. They had Arizona, right? That's where they're driving.
It started in Cali, went to
Or whatever,
Arizona, whenever. Yeah, West
crew,
Coast.
Russia, and then the home crew split between Upside Down and Real World. And then that's why I thought the Jock, I was like, we're already doing like 4 or 5 things. And then layers with Paul Reiser's character and Papa. I thought you either needed to, like, I guess the problem is, like, if Hopper was back home for all this, like, he would have to be intertwined in all of this, which would make it hard. So having him have his own thing. But a lot of times I was like, this is like its own fucking show.
Yeah.
Trying to get through a Russian prison. But we know it's all going to come together, but like it didn't really for this series. For this season.
Nah.
Vekna and Hopper like never really,
Yeah.
So that
They were just like saving Hopper his reunion moment for the finale. Almost, it felt like in a way.
They could have.
The Demogorgon fight was cool. That was like a cool way to do the fight
It felt like Gladiator. Did you get Gladiator vibes from that scene?
Win the crowd when you're.
It's the only Russia part where I was really like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah,
now.
agreed. Yeah. I thought, wouldn't this be cooler? Because I thought that they had that heartwarming, seemingly death with Hopper.
Yep.
And then they undid it in the fucking post.
In the trailer too. Yeah.
They didn't give you any. If Russia didn't happen, and then Hopper comes back for the true final season with Russia, and they could speedily like get him home.
That's the idea.
It would have been like, oh my God, Hopper's still alive, but. Because it would have just chopped out all the minutes that I thought were kind of wasted in Russia.
Yeah, you didn't need him.
We would have mourned Hopper, and that moment would have had like its moment.
Some weight.
And then it would be this crazy, like, holy shit, Hopper's back to fight the final fight because he's been in Russia this whole time. And we could have just he got home by, movie magic.
Yeah.
What did he blow his feet up for? His feet were all fucked up. They
to get
never
the shackle
explained that.
off, or
he like hit it so then that
so
would
he could
happen.
break his foot and get
Barefoot
the
running
shackle
in the-
off.
yeah.
He killed like a dozen Russian guards, and they're like, "All right, cool. We're just going to throw you to the
Whatever,
Demogorgon." It's like you get a fucking bullet in your head if you do that.
It was
And
cool seeing that they were experimenting on some Demogorgons.
That
I guess
was
that
cool.
was
I
like,
think that was what
interesting.
but
Like,
even that, so I'm anticipating when we do the final battle, and it's the Mind Flayer, and it's the thing. Like, where does Russia even come into this shit?
I don't know.
That's and are
Or
Enzo,
are they done with Russia?
Are Enzo and what was it, Yuri? Are they here now? They never really said what happens with them. Obviously, they bring them back. But
I
where
do
are
like
they?
I do like the conspiracy theory guy. Who's that? Murray, right?
Murray, yeah, he's
I like
good.
him. The rest of the guys I can get rid of. I don't need them.
Joyce was
Even the
fine.
many-faced God.
He was.
He's handsome.
I don't
He's
need him.
handsome.
He didn't provide
He
anything.
didn't
really
prevent.
don't-
I just like him in
I
Thrones.
don't
He
need
had a
him,
very.
and I don't need the other Russian guy, the two-timer who then like.
Yeah.
Oh, Yuri was the worst. I could not stand
Totally
Yuri.
stupid. Give me Joyce. You need Winona and you need Murray. But like, I thought eventually we were gonna have like almost like a human fight, like Russia's weaponizing this, and we need to stop them. But it's clear we're just going down Monster Avenue, Monster Alley, so we don't need a USA Russia thing.
Speaking of something you brought up in the beginning of the podcast, though, where you said you thought, oh, like Vekna at the beginning, he's just another villain. I love the fact that they did what they did with him, where they were like, he's responsible for everything, which took balls to be like,
He was a big time.
he's the reason why this show exists,
The
basically.
reappearance of Barb too, like all that shit where it all ties in.
And then the fact that they kept him alive, we both loved. We're like, don't create a new villain for season 5. You created the villain here. Keep him alive. They give him, we call it the Darth Vader spin out at the end of A New Hope, where he just spins out. You're like, oh, we'll see him in the next movie.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought he was great. The actual reveal of like, okay, this guy is one. Okay, this guy did the massacre. Okay, this guy's Vekna.
Yep.
That was probably the best moment
That
of
was
the
the
season.
highlight of the season.
Oh
3.
yeah, because that also shows what we've lacked a lot in TV is a front to finish, start to finish plan.
Yes.
You know, and
Seemed like they mapped everything out.
I mean, literally like episode 1, first 5 minutes, we're talking about mind flayers.
Yep.
And we're gonna end there now. And they did a good job. Sometimes I don't like when, like, there was the scene where Vekna's talking to, I think it's Nancy actually, maybe not 11, where he's explaining everything. Or it is 11 at that point. Sometimes when they do I'm going to explain everything to the protagonist scene, so that the audience knows what's up. I'm kind of like, this is really holding my hand here.
Yeah.
He's
But I thought they did
monologuing.
a good job.
Like they say in
and
Incredibles.
that's when I learned that actually I can do this.
Everyone got a monologue in the final episode.
Oh,
It's another thing where it's like
monologuing.
2 hours, 20 minutes. Let's give everyone a 10-minute monologue. Like we were like, Jonathan got a monologue. He didn't need one.
I thought they did a little bit when it comes to the revealing front, like when Nancy reorganized the pictures.
Drawings.
And it was the house. I was like, no fucking kidding, that house. Like, clearly
Look
that
at it,
house was
yeah.
going to be a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's this very ominous house that we've already been inside of for a couple episodes. I was like, yeah, that's going to be it.
Yeah.
But it felt a little like the fact that Hawkins is like, why is this happening in Hawkins? And we kind of learn why, the portals and all that shit. Because I did always have those thoughts of like, is this the only place this happens? Are there monsters across the world? Is it just this? And they really did nicely tie it all together.
There might be monsters across the world though, because they also announced the spinoff. They're like, there's a Stranger Things spinoff coming out, and I'm like, spinoff?
Yep.
Is that a
Well,
Russia
and they did
show
that-
or is
remember
it?
that godforsaken episode last year with the
See
other...
that I was on this podcast in this chair going, I didn't hate that episode.
Oh, I didn't like it, but because I thought that it was just we're gonna leave the door open.
It's like the
for
punk
Stranger
rock
Things
Detroit
2, 3, 4,
thing,
5,
yeah.
and 6 if we want to, because we can do a series with 6 and a series with 9 and
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers, that one goddamn Detroit episode. Everyone loses their mind.
Everyone
talking
hated
about
that. It was like the Fly of,
yeah,
you know,
it was
Stranger Things,
universally
basically.
fucking hated. But yeah, I really thought the Vekna. When I found out that girl was not Millie, that's an actress.
Oh, crazy, right?
crazy.
Yeah.
Wait,
They did
the
like
little girl
de-aging.
is not just it's not
or
just
it's
a,
like a deep fake over a
different
different
girl.
person's face.
They did do some shit
We
to her
said
face,
it. We
but
said, oh,
that's-
they did a really good job de-aging her. That was a different girl.
It's
but
a
it's
different
a
girl with
yeah.
her face, like Millie's face
On top.
de-aged
So
on
there
top.
is a little bit of graphics, but that's I think they do look very alike in real life.
Yeah.
Because
There's a
that-
picture of them both
sometimes
together, and Millie's got the head shaved, and you could tell. You're like, oh,
she
you
did
look
shave
like.
her head.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, that's awesome. I love
Just
that.
it sucks for her though. It's
You know
like,
what? It does, but also I think like I'd be like, I'm finishing this off. Like, I
yeah,
wouldn't even
true.
don't care how pretty or not pretty I am, because she also pulls it off. It's Elle. It's her
Yeah.
look, you know.
And she also like this role made her. It's not like
That's
this
what I
is a
mean.
role
like,
that
I owe it to Stranger
Yeah.
Things. to
Yeah, yeah.
finish
If
off
you're
strong.
making her money, you get a nice wig
For
where
sure.
people can't
But
tell.
but also, don't you want it to be like, we're gonna do this the right way and finish it strong?
Yeah,
I'll grow that hair back. And
that's a
then
good
be,
point.
I
I like them doing the salt bath in this one too, because it felt like a parallel to like
Yeah.
season 1 in a lot of ways. Like we're going
Yeah.
back to it. Them doing the makeshift way again, where it's like the first time was in a pool in the gym.
So that is what similar to doing Dustin and Steve, and there was another moment. Oh, Elle getting her powers back, and one other one that I was like,
They
like
did Max's death twice in the season, basically.
Yeah,
that was one
yeah.
thing where I was like, oh, I thought she was safe after she survived the first time,
and
but
it's like, nope, we got her
I
again.
guess not. The first time was
Little bit
also a
repetitive,
highlight of the season, the running up that hill scene where she
mean,
survives.
Shout out to Kate Bush, right? Like
Crazy.
That was, some of the numbers I've heard. So many the rumors and legend of how much money she's making now.
Yeah.
Somebody told me she's making $2 million a week. It's like, guys, she's not making $2 million.
I hope she is for her sake, but I doubt
she
it.
made $2 million.
Oh,
I think that
definitely.
was a
Because
number
she
that,
owns
like-
the publishing rights and
Yeah,
stuff, which
right.
is where you're really
And then
making the
the
money.
streams have made like a couple $1,000s a week here and there. I think it all added up to like a couple million, which is so. I wonder this: do you think the Duffer Brothers or whoever does that, they've got to clear it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I guess if she owns them, they have to talk to her.
Yeah.
But do you think that she picks up the phone and is like, "Yeah, cool," or do you think she's like, "I'm gonna fucking get rich off this"?
I think it really depends on the person, because there's stories of The Wrestler, the movie, Mickey Rourke movie. He wanted to use Sweet Child of Mine as his entrance theme.
Yeah.
And Mickey Rourke called up Axel, was like, can we use it? And he was like, yep. And then I think there's other people who are like, for $40 million, or like
Yeah.
crazy numbers, you
Like,
know?
I wonder, I wonder how that worked, because do you think any old song, any song from the 80s would have gotten that treatment? I don't think. I'll be
No.
honest, I don't really like that song that much. I don't think it's.
I think it's a good song.
I think it's
a
a
jam.
fine song. I think I think a lot of people like it because they love Stranger Things and it was
Yeah.
a cool moment. Like, I wonder if they put, a Rick Astley song in there, would that have gone?
I think it
to the
has
top of
like
the charts?
it has like an emotional weight to this song. I
Yeah.
feel like that helps it.
Yeah.
It has like it's like
Would be
an
funny
80s
if it
pop
was
song,
like,
but it's dramatic
I like
too.
big butts and I can't.
How about this? What's worse for Max? Getting her bones broken, her eyes smashed, and going into a coma, or having to listen to your favorite song so fucking much every single day.
That
so
it ruins it for you.
That it ruins it for you.
Yeah.
And also just reminds you of the time you were almost like kidnapped by a
Yeah.
fucking,
Fact.
you know.
Oh, yeah, that's all you're going to be able to think about.
You're
now
always
with
going to
that
think
song.
about the demon that's coming after you. I remember I love Summer '69. It was like I just always just like a fun ass song, right? We were at a party one night and some girls kept playing that song, and I can't even listen to it anymore. They ruined Summer '69.
Fuck those girls.
Fuck those girls.
Ruining
Angela
Summer
was one of
69
them.
for
The
someone.
roller
That
skate
bitch,
girl.
I bashed her in the face with a rollerblade.
We talked about like our songs to pull us out of the upside down.
What was yours?
I said "Live Forever" Oasis. Just the song that got tattooed.
Oasis.
He said "Dynamite."
I said
BTS.
Dynamite by BTS. I fucking love that song. I don't know. My
We're
kids
trying to become the BTS podcast at Barstool.
That
now.
is a smart business idea.
Yes.
The worst choice I've ever made.
What?
I didn't say it in a moment. I think that song stinks too.
It's also
Bob, you can't say that. We're the BTS podcast.
I forgot.
Make your decision.
Cut that from the record.
That song choice stinks, Clem. It's new. It's not anything to do with
It
you.
reminds me of like a Tide
Maybe
commercial
if your
or
kids
something.
Like it, but
Well,
it's
that's
like,
it. It's a kids thing. So it's in Fortnite, and my kids used to play it all the time. So
But
now I have
think about all the
Thanos,
songs we,
and he
like,
dances
grew
to
up-
Dynamite. It's fucking awesome.
What about like some of the songs you like grew up with and loved? And
I think I said another song. I'm trying to think of what it was that was like my go-to. But then I said or Dynamite, and I'm like, Bob, we're gonna become the BTS podcast at Barstool.
dude, those guys they tweet like high and it gets like 700,000.
Crazy.
It's insane.
We said the BTS podcast and also the Pakistan podcast at Barstool because we're a big Miss Marvel podcast now.
Okay, got it. Shout out to our
Shout out
fans.
Pakistan.
I would do Electric Feel by MGMT.
Oh,
That song, first of all, I think it's just a funky slap.
Yeah, it is.
And
I wouldn't
also
expect that from you.
Is pretty much the last time I was ever happy. Like it was the summer of I was 25, 6, 7-ish, like in that area. And I remember we were going to the Hamptons, we were going to the Jersey Shore, single, no kids, no bills, bar stools popping off, and we would just get like hammered and like, like that, fucking, that electric vibe to it. It would take me back to like the sound, like the actual like I'm listening to it, I love it, but where it takes me
Yeah,
to.
you need the
if
good
I was
moments,
trying to like I
Max
don't want
had.
to die, I need to fight to survive.
Yep.
I would want to go back to like Hampton Bays.
Yep.
Where I had this stupid hat on, I was chugging a Four Loko and chasing chicks. So that would be my pick.
How could you not go Call Me Maybe? You're the Call Me Maybe guy.
Did I say Call Me Maybe? Or I said Lisa Loeb Stay, I think was on there.
I think
and
that
then,
was on there, yeah.
I don't know if I said
I
Heart of the City,
I think I put
Jay-Z.
Mr. Blue Sky on mine.
Mr. Blue Sky, yeah, that
Just
was
the
another good
happiest
one.
song I could think of.
I don't even know what that song is.
You've heard it. It's the beginning song of
Mr.
Guardians
Blue
of the
Sky,
Galaxy.
please tell the
Oh,
spot.
yeah.
Guardians too.
One of my favorite things that I ever did was by making the original KFC Radio intro has Call Me Maybe in it. So my podcast and Call Me Maybe.
The
like,
very
over time.
first one has it.
It's like the record scratch. And it's like, so call me, here's my number. So call me maybe because it was so.
There's a call-in
focused on
show
calling
too.
in.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I mean, that's another one. I could pick that one too. We were at the Parker House, summer of Call Me Maybe. I don't even know what
Summer
year it was.
of
I
Call
call
Me
it the
Maybe.
Summer of Call Me
I
Maybe.
love it.
Yeah.
And we did this white people shit where the song would come on and you only do it during Call Me Maybe. Everyone's dancing around and all you do is you spin someone like a top. You put your finger on the head
Oh,
and they
that's
spin.
great.
Spin 'em?
And
That's a
then
good move.
And then they turn and they spin and you'd watch it just bounce through the Parker House. Very cool. Only during Call Me Maybe.
I saw Glenny. He might not like me saying this, but I saw Glenny walking around the tape going, I can't even get a VIP pass to the Parker House. I was like, Glenny, what are you talking about?
That is funny. The people who had the VIP passes to the Parker House walk
He
around
told me
like
it's
they're
gold.
Fucking, they kind of are. If you're like a Jersey Shore.
He had to sit down
every
with the
weekend.
owner. Glenny was like, I got to talk to the owner, and he sat down with the guy
Dude,
and
there's
talked to him.
one guy at the Parker House. Parker House is cash only. There's this guy. I don't know if his like overall nickname is this, but we call him. I know him as the Silver Fox. Older guy, Silver Fox. He's the only guy he's allowed to use a credit card. I don't know
Get
why.
outta here.
I
No.
do not know why. He must be like a part owner or something, but he can use a credit card.
That
Nobody
is
else.
so funny.
So cool.
I almost want to open a bar just so I could be that
Just-
guy.
yeah.
A cash-only bar.
Yeah.
Walk in with a credit card, just like blow everyone away.
Yep,
I
like,
love
I
it.
can.
Lit. That's another one. My own worst enemy. We were at a bar in Newport, the wife and I, and there was like the kids, it's like 25-year-old somethings, and they're all, and Lit came on by like a live band, and everyone was losing their mind. I'm like, it still hits this song.
Yeah.
It made me so happy.
Oh,
where
yeah.
kids like,
That
oh,
is
this old song.
I would go as far to say that's the #1 cover band song.
Yes.
Oh,
Like
Pop Punk
every
did it
cover
for
band
probably
could play
5 or
it.
6 shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was our second song on our set. We thought it was a very good, recognizable, like that riff to go into the second song.
That one and what's Good Charlotte's song? They have
The
one.
anthem.
Yeah, how does that one?
This is the anthem. Throw all your hands up.
I think those two songs. Another just a rant.
The middle, Jimmy Eat
Is that a
World is a
Madden
big
song?
one.
Yeah.
I feel like that has to be a Madden song.
I think
Took
it
me
is.
back to Madden.
I don't know if that's because they're easy guitar riffs or they're easy to
They're all
sing,
yeah,
or
they're all
there's
4
awesome
chords.
songs,
Yeah.
But like every band can and does play those songs. All of those would be great. Any of those songs. That's why music is so cool, and like that's why like I hate the new Kanye albums, because when I listen to them, I'm like changing diapers and fighting, fighting a newborn. And when I listen to the early ones, I was at a house party having a great time in my life. Like the ability, what we see in Stranger Things, it's like there's a song that could like keep you alive because you would like have the will to fight just because of hearing.
And it's so 80s too. Like that felt very nostalgic when she has the Walkman in the final episode when Jason steps on it. You're like, oh!
I thought that was gonna be even like a more like, important.
Yeah.
Like, play the music and we don't have it because that fucking asshole.
They didn't really focus on like it breaks, and I guess they're just like, all
They
right.
never did it
Yeah.
again, right? They didn't bring it back.
No.
I thought it was gonna be a batteries thing. I said that like I called it early in the season. I
yeah.
thought they were
That's
gonna.
another thing that people don't realize that because it would be like running up.
Yeah, that could actually be if they wanted to do it in the next season or something. If it gets demonic, that would sound like slows down, kind of gets like that.
I love that. Speaking of the demonic, the Vekna shit, when Max was bouncing around and they throw it back to the Winter Ball and they kind of like I love
that was
that. I
cool.
love when you call back old
that
seasons
whole scene
in TV shows.
Yeah. I think Vekna is a scarier human. I think.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
the
when he was
actor-
Fuckface is
called
what
him
I
all
called him.
fuckface,
That was-
yeah.
Before he
Because
turned
he's
into
walking,
Vekna.
I think you're kind of right
like
about that.
when he's a great actor, at least for that scene. I don't know what else he's done, but like those scenes where he's like looking like this and he's got bloodshot eyes and he's talking to Elle like obviously he's a bad guy, but like you see what he's saying, or he's kind of like fuck these people trying to put me in a cage when like I'm elite and like. So I'm kind of like, yeah, fuck these people, you know.
That's the best villains. You can kind of see their perspective, you know. It's like, all right, I see where they're coming from.
But
I think you're right
Kevin's
about
a
that.
villain guy like me. I could tell. We're on the same page with this one. I always sympathize with the villains.
I thought Vekna was creepiest when he was like hanging up.
so
Right when he starts walking around, it's like, oh.
I totally agree, and I think that was the only real failure of this season because I thought the hallmark of Stranger Things to me is good villains. I think the Demogorgon is one of the best additions. Iconic. One of the
Great
best
names,
additions
too.
to the sci-fi world ever.
Agreed.
The fucking
Almost looks
face
like
open
the
up.
plant, you know, like
from Jumanji.
Yeah.
The big Venus flytrap.
Yes.
And there was the Demodogs, like the small ones, and a lot of those. The bats.
The Mind Flayer's great.
Mind
Flayer's great.
So the Mind Flayer is the big
It's
spider
the big
thing.
smoke spider.
Yeah.
Like those are all awesome. And then I saw Vekna in his like final form, and it was like you're part Predator, part Harry Potter with the no nose,
Part Ken doll
Part
with the no dick.
No dick.
Yeah.
Somebody was it on Barstool or maybe Coley and Trill? He looked like the Grinch, kind of like
A little
and I
bit.
was like,
A
oh,
little
so
bit.
there's a
Trill
scene.
thing.
Oh, you know this? I got a bone to pick with Jeff D. Lowe.
Ah.
He tweeted, "Vekna's slouching made him so much scarier."
What?
And there's a scene where Vekna, and this is why Coley tweeted the Grinch, because the Grinch, pot belly ass old villain, is always kind of like this.
Yeah.
And so there's a still shot from Jeff's Twitter where Vekna is kind of like this, and I was like, that doesn't make him scary. That makes him look like me. Like, bro, you need to straighten up. You need
I
like
want to smack him in the back of the head.
yeah, you need
your
you
posture
need
up.
like one of those scoliosis braces that like the weird kid had in elementary school. So I didn't know. Maybe that was a joke by Jeff, or maybe he really thought that. I thought that Vekna as a monster was actually a letdown for the bar where Stranger Things usually has.
I didn't
monsters.
view him as a letdown, but when he was walking around it was the scene you brought up before with Nancy, where he's like walking down the hallway. He was kind of her height too, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what is this guy? 5'6", 5'7"? Like,
I didn't think he was.
all right, maybe I'll take this guy on.
He was imposing
Yeah.
or intimidating like at all. I thought the
when he's
him-
hanging up, that
him,
was like, oh, that's creepy.
And he was getting all
Yeah.
his, it's almost like the Mummy where he's like getting stronger, and
Getting the
more powerful,
tentacles,
like getting
yeah.
the guilt from everyone and all that shit. But then it was like, okay, now I'm here, and I was like, all right, you just look like a monster.
His
guy.
house was creepier than him. When they
Definitely.
couldn't stand on any of the tentacles and they were
Dude.
walking through it, that was scary.
The house in real life was creepy.
Yeah.
And the Upside Down is creepy. The grandfather clock was awesome.
That was great.
That I mean,
Just the
grandfather
clock
clocks-
chime. I feel like an episode ended with a clock chime too, and it was just
Bro,
like, oh
we
my
used
god.
to have a grandfather clock in my house, and when we moved, my mom said, "Just keep it,
Yeah.
just leave it," and I was like, Do you know how scary that is? It was an old house. We had like a pre-war, like I think it was like almost 1800s house. Like someone's gonna move in, and there's just a grandfather
Did it
clock
make
that
the big
came with-
chimes and everything?
The whole nine, dude.
Wow.
And I actually never was scared by it because we had
It
it.
was yours.
It would do like
It's a
on
difference.
on the 15, 30, 45. It would dung 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 dung
Mhm.
dung 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 dung,
yeah.
and then they would bell and all that. But I always thought it was cool. But like for someone else, especially when they move in, it's empty and there's first
Just a
night in the
clock.
All
house.
that's there is a clock.
Clock swanging and ticking. I was like, this is scary.
Cuckoo clocks need to make a comeback. I always loved cuckoo clocks. In the fucking
Yeah, let's bring
cartoons.
those back.
Cuckoo
Let's
clocks.
bring
I mean, the
cuckoo
big
clocks
name
back.
cuckoo clock.
Can we
You
make
know what?
Barstool
The
cuckoo
world
clocks?
needs More cuckoo clocks. I would love. We're gonna run for president one day. Like, Mr. Clem, give us your takes. America needs more cuckoo clocks. That's my promise to you, the American people.
Yeah.
I'll get you more.
What did
cuckoo.
I say, Bob? I said in the episode, in like episode 2, I said roller rinks are going to make a comeback. And then
Yeah.
apparently they opened up some huge roller rink in like
One
somewhere
of
in the
my
country.
favorite internet trends of the last couple of years are those ones where guys skate
Oh,
together.
they did the
yeah.
thing. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're
I know
like
what you're talking
old
about.
people got their hands on their hips, but they're Usher did one the other day with like Jamie Foxx or whatever, where they're like, I wish I could do that. I get on ice skates.
I'm
roller
actually not
skates.
bad on roller skate. I'm roller blades. I played roller hockey, which helps quite a bit.
But I do think I think it's kind of like if you show up to the roller rink and rollerblades,
Can't do it. No, you can't do it.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
okay,
Bad
dude,
boy.
it's kind of like
It's like-
snowboarding and skiing. Like
Yes.
a little bit of a rivalry going
Also,
on.
like showing up to like a pickup game with your one buddy in like the nicest Jordans. And being,
Yeah,
like
it's kinda
putting your
like-
sleeve on. being
Right,
like, yeah,
right.
all right, here we go.
yeah,
We're
I'm
here
like
for
racing
recreation,
in.
sir,
Yeah,
not for
yeah.
athletics.
Just,
Did
you walk in with rollerblades, they're like, just chill out, dude.
Yeah, calm down, bro.
If you haven't heard of Whatnot, it is a live stream auction app where you can buy collectibles, comics, and more, really anything else from Whatnot. It's live streams. It's on the app 24/7 all around. So literally at 4 a.m, you could go on Whatnot and see people hosting live auctions and stuff. And Barstool is actually the newest seller on Whatnot. So we're going to be going live twice a week, running live shows, selling never before seen auction items and Whatnot exclusives. It really brings people together through commerce. Sellers can host the live streams, engage with the audience, during the live stream, literally. So download the Whatnot app, go to the Barstool Sports account at Barstool Sports and follow, and you'll be the first to be notified when we go live. I think Doug's is doing some card ones. If you're into comics, they got comics on there as well. Use the link in the description. You'll get $10 off your first purchase on Whatnot. Make sure you follow us at Barstool Sports, and we'll see you on the auction.
Did you you're around the same age as me? Like roller rinks were still a thing.
I went
did you go to
to one
Sportland
roller-
USA or Sport Time?
Sport Time USA, but I don't think I went roller skating there. I went to Sport Time USA like 2 weeks ago. It's closed.
Dunzo closed.
I think they're moving locations.
Okay.
It was open because I thought maybe pandemic, all that. I Googled it. It said open. I got there. There was a sign that said like.
There with the kids too. That's the
Yeah,
worst.
it was-
Oh,
it was
that's
like,
the worst.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd rather get hit by Vekna than have my kids be like, we're going to Sport Time, kids. We're going to Sport Time. Up, it's
you
closed.
could
Yeah.
see all of like they had the arcades, the things. They were just like unplugged and all to the side, and I was like, it's
That's a
moving, kids.
depressing sight.
It was not
Unplugged
totally
arcade
closed.
machines.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
talk about a good place for like a scary scene. Is like a warehouse that has all the games and shit, and then they come
One of them
by.
turns on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
You
I
see
hope
like
that's
coins.
how Angela dies. I hope she gets killed in one of those things.
I went to one roller rink as a kid in the Poconos. We did a white trash family trip to the Poconos as white trash
People
do.
tend to do.
Yep.
I'm talking like places where they have the hot tub in
Yes.
the room. and
Oh,
all that shit, the
God,
martini
yeah.
glass tub.
Mount Airy Lodge. I think that was what you always see the commercials.
I don't think
for
it
that.
was, but it was like
Yeah.
Mount
beautiful
Airy.
Mount Airy Lodge. Yep, that's an old cut. But we went to one it was like a Caesars in the Poconos. I think that exists. Give me a quick Google.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
it was Caesars.
Wow.
And I just remember the rink being very slick because I did try to rollerblade because I was a young kid, and it almost was like these are not made for rollerblades. You need a four-wheelers. But that was the only, and it was just a bunch of like old people and white trash people roller skating, and it was awesome.
Caesars Pocono Resorts. Yep,
Yeah,
it's
there it
there.
is, man.
Unreal.
And I kind of loved it.
Well, it would be much better if there was a Barstool Sports
There was
resort.
a pen.
Let's. It was actually pretty
Yep.
shitty if we're thinking back.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. It was, I thought it was Caesar salads. I didn't know what it was.
That would be ballsy if we decided to be the Caesar podcast here at Barstool.
We said anything to keep the basement lights on.
Hey,
At this
man,
point, we
brother.
said we're going to start doing free ads.
Yeah, we're giving away free ads, which
Yeah.
wouldn't really help us at all. Because
I don't know how it would help us. We're just
trying.
throwing shit at the
We're
wall.
just
Just
trying.
seeing what
Just
sticks at this point.
Don't invite Zach Wilson over, brother.
Yeah,
No, yeah, I
the
guess
mom's
not.
basement.
I guess not.
Or
Yeah.
you'll be down here. He'll be up there. Zach Wilson's new podcast. It's from your mom's bedroom.
Upstairs with mom again.
Like, what's that noise? That construction or yeah, no.
I got a Vekna take. How about this? The most scary Vekna was Kid Vekna. Because that little
Yeah.
motherfucker was
Yeah.
he's killing rabbits for fun.
He had alfalfa
Yes.
vibes from what's that called?
Little rascals.
Yeah. But putting like a leash on the rabbit so it could kind of move.
That
was
like he was
crazy.
tied up or whatever. That's always the sign. You kill the animals and torture animals, you become the school shooter. You're
Of
crazy.
course.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. And he loves spiders. Bob Fox hates spiders.
Oh,
Changed
you said
the
love, so I was like, we
fucking-
just said school shooters. What are you about to say?
That was when he was doing his big, speech
Reveal,
to
yeah.
tell everybody.
There was
And
a
he
spider in,
when
like,
I
every
found that
episode.
spiders like were my friends instead of my enemies. I was like, oh, He's like, I found a pack of black
Widows.
widows.
Yeah. Did you also know Victor Creel, who we met up with later, with crusty eyes, pussy eyes, gross?
Yeah.
He was Freddy Krueger.
Ah.
This season had a lot of Freddy Krueger inspiration with like going into dreams and
Yeah.
stuff. So they gave him a little role as an homage to like, hey, thanks for all the inspiration.
Like I did notice him, but wait, no, wait, who was he?
Victor Creel with the crusty eyes.
Yeah.
The
That
father.
was, like
who-
Peter Ungland or
Nancy
whatever?
and Robin go to visit him.
Right, but he was the guy who played
Freddy
Krueger.
Krueger, yeah.
He's still alive and everything.
Yeah.
I think his name's like Peter Ungland or England. or
I
something.
think you're
Yes,
right about
I think
that.
you're right.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. That's a great little Easter.
KFC radio question for you. How much money would it take for you to fuck his eyes?
A hole's a hole, brother.
Did you notice this? It's bad radio,
Pretty
but
cool.
that scene, it's 11 and 1, and look at the rainbow. No, you just don't have to play. Look at the rainbow. There's her rainbow is the right side, and his rainbow is upside down. If you notice that, and then
The little
look at the
details.
symmetry between the kids on the ground there. There's her kids are like, it's kind of neat where his side of the room is all fucked up, and that's where like that episode, that scene is fucking incredible.
These things are so cool. Yeah. So the rainbow goes from red, orange, blue, green, yellow, indigo, violet.
Is in
The
Hawkins'
other
lab.
one is,
How do you say
the
Roy G.
opposite.
Biv?
Roy G.
backwards.
Biv.
Yeah. Which is so cool, and also, but it's also like. It's just such extra time goes into it, which I appreciate, but it's also like
I wonder if
people
it's a
fucking
Duffer
notice.
Brothers thing, like, hey, make the set look like this, or if it's like the production designers are like,
Have
let
those
me make
ideas
this a
in their head
little
already.
interesting to not make it just a waiting room.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You know,
and
I-
also I really think this is if I was making a show, I would be very aware to not lost myself and open
Yeah.
up a bunch of doors I'm not going to close. But you know how much more internet traction you get when you do Easter eggs and shit?
Oh, yeah.
The amount of Reddit threads and shit.
We're
that you
making
put in
videos
different
about it,
colors and different-
speculating.
Right. So I'd be like, load them all in there. Like I would almost make somebody should make a company that does just that. We'll
Yeah.
give you your Easter eggs to your show.
Hunt is the name of the company.
Oh, that's good. That's fucking
it.
good.
Fucking
Let's leave Barstool and start that company.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah,
sounds like
for
it's like
That is great. Because I'm sure, like anything else, there's little tricks like, we always make the scenery is always a little bit black when the darker when the bad guys on
Yeah.
the, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like things that you do automatically.
The clock, where they say if you go back to all the old seasons now, when like someone gets abducted into the upside down, you hear a dong.
Well,
My
so
wife
they're-
went back and watched a bunch of
they're
stuff.
going
When
through.
Will gets sucked in, you hear a
That's
clock
so
go
dope.
off.
that's fucked up.
And it
very
makes the
cool.
show, I think, better going back. Where like with Star Wars, I feel like they're kind of being like, oh yeah, we're gonna fix this shitty part of
Yeah.
Star Wars by making this
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Where that it's like
They
no,
already planned it. They did it.
Yep.
That- yeah.
It's the anti-True Detective, whereas like we made this awesome show on Reddit,
We had it
and it was
ready.
just like, no, it was just
No.
this guy was a creepy perv. That's all.
Yeah,
it was.
they basically wrote their show
And I love
Reddit
True
first.
Detective one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
They had it ready to go. Will, I don't think it needs to be a big deal, but he's definitely gay.
Yeah.
And I saw like a couple tweets being like, if Will doesn't get a girlfriend by the next season, I'm quitting. And I was like, they're laying it on.
No,
pretty
he's gay.
fucking heavy-handed, I thought.
We thought the painting was going to be he was making the Wedding Crashers comparison.
Yeah, it was gonna be Michael, but with the little leaf over his dick like Vince Vaughn. It's like the painting was a gift. Will, I'm taking it on with me.
It's dangerous and sexual or something like
And
that.
Christopher Walken's like, it's crap.
I mean that to me, I think the Duffer Brothers came out with a quote that said like, it's like neither. It's like he's, I guess it could either be he's gay or he's just like a late bloomer. So to him, he still wants to.
He's
play
a
with the
kid.
boys in the basement. He's still a kid.
He seems
and the
in
Duffer
love with
Brothers
Mike.
said something like, "We're not going to. That's not the point. We're not going to have a reveal." But I'm like, I don't know. I personally feel this is where you live in the era of like every show has some sort of a gay couple
Yeah.
or you know what I mean. It's just like they just kind of wedge them in.
I respect that they weren't ham-fisted about it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, it's a storyline that's in there.
yeah,
And,
it wasn't just like he's gay for the sake of being gay. They kind of just treat him normally.
right, and it doesn't impact like
Exactly.
anything. But in a way that actually makes me feel like they wedged it in because it doesn't tie into anything. It's just like
true.
He kind of he's like, I thought we were gonna be friends, and he's like, I'm trying to fuck 11, man. Like, leave me alone.
And also the speech he gives to Mike in the final episode when he's like, "You're the heart. You got this. You got all the heart."
Let
I
me
was just
suck
like,
your dick while you do it, man.
I was like-
I'll jerk you off while you get 11 out.
I was not into that speech. It was a little corny.
I have a theory too. 11, she like could have turned it on, but she's like, I'm gonna make this motherfucker say I love you before I actually do this.
Yeah.
And he's like,
She's
come on, 11, you can
gaslighting
do it.
from a
I
fucking,
got
like,
you.
Deprivation tank.
Mike is like, "What's she doing in there?" She's like sitting in a chair with her legs crossed. Like, I'll wait.
I've got
Say
all
it.
day, man.
Yeah.
I'm here in the upside down no matter what. So, you tell me.
And you knew it was coming when Vekna puts her. He's like, "I'm gonna make you watch," and ties her up. Or you're like, "All right, you're about to get fucking beat by
Yeah,
11."
yeah.
But when she does it and sends him flying and everything, it was still like, yeah.
Stranger Things has some of the best, like, what do you think the bad guy's gonna lose? Or the good guy's gonna lose?
Yeah.
Nope. Like, she's back. She's ready to rock. I think,
Her almost getting shot by the sniper in the episode before, and you hear like the honk of the pizza
Right.
truck, and it's like, "Who's
Yeah,
that?"
they're
And-
coming over the
Yeah.
hill. Yeah.
Did you like
That was
Argyle?
Huh?
Argyle, the hippie?
I
Or the-
thought
the-
he
the
was a
pothead?
little like he's obviously a very like stereotypical stoner type dude,
Yeah.
you know. I thought it was like there for like the comedic relief in a
He wasn't
sense.
too, shoved in there. I
I
feel
thought
like
he was
they used
alright.
him well.
The Jonathan was kind of where he was kind of like a lame stoner. It's like, get this
That
guy.
was
Yeah,
weird.
he was also just
That was
like,
weird.
he was like, "This is my personality now. Like
Yeah,
I'm a stoner."
I'm gonna be a stoner now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, like
Which I
when-
guess some kids
He's
do in high
Nancy
school.
Wheeler's fucking boyfriend, and this is what he's doing. He's embarrassing.
I
As
think
someone that
that's
loves
weird.
Nancy
And,
Wheeler,
I
I'll say
mean,
it, Kevin.
let's say-
She's 27.
I think they're
Yeah,
breaking
you
up
love
though.
her.
They're breaking up. Based on their conversation at the end.
bro.
Which conversation? When Steve said he wants to put 6 fucking babies in her, despite not dating her? What kind of a move is that to do to somebody?
I will tell you this much: we've seen it all in our era, from like Ross and Rachel on Friends,
Yep.
through
Jim and Pam.
Brad and Angelina in real fucking life, and J Lo and Ben, and all this shit. If Steve Harrington and Nancy Wheeler are not together by the end of this series, I fucking riot. It's just, it's meant to be.
Although
It
you
has to
forget
be.
how bad he was to her in season 1.
He was a motherfucker.
He said she was
He
a
was
slut
a
on the
bad
cinema. Do you know what that means in
Yeah.
like fucking Indiana?
That
That's
was
like putting on the
bad.
Times Square fucking billboard, like
Yeah.
the big screen.
That was really like he was.
It's
such
crazy
an
how much
asshole.
of an asshole he
But
was
then
based
he-
on how much we love him now.
But like, okay, he did that, and then for the last like 5 years, he's been getting attacked
True.
by
And just
monster
getting his
bats in
ass
the
kicked.
upside down. So I think he's
And looking
earned it,
over
like,
kids like a big brother. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time we turn around, he's got like an axe in his hand, getting attacked by some monsters while like
Spiked
the kids are
baseball
saving.
bat. Right?
Yeah, and he has.
And the
He's the
greatest
one in
hair in
charge
the
of all
world.
the kids, right? He's
Yeah.
probably saved her brother's life a few times. I want more Wheelers. Give me Miss Wheelers. I kind of liked her being. Did you know she had a pussy necklace? I think I
What?
told you about that.
Excuse me?
That
Yeah.
is a.
There's a pussy necklace.
That's a
I
Zach-
think
That's
you
an
might have
Easter
mentioned
egg.
this actually.
That's yeah.
That's a Zach Wilson target.
She'll
get fucked by Zach
He
Wilson
might have
real
actually
quick.
fucked the actual actress. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised.
no, for real. That she will get fucked by Zach Wilson tomorrow.
Because there's a lot of like the Easter eggs or people going around. And she has this.
Like a
it looks like
cat or a
look-
pussy.
It looks like an actual clit, and people. It's like all over the place.
She's a hoe, dude.
She is such a.
She's a dick thirsty whore.
And I kind of love
Like,
Mr. Wheeler's kind of like.
Mr. Wheeler has a dusty dick. He has not brushed that thing off since the kids were born, man.
Oh,
and all
man.
she wants is to get stuffed, and he's reading the newspaper every day. I love that he's.
Vagina Necklace or no?
Yeah, wore a vagina necklace, and I don't think she's. I thought she was wearing
yeah,
it with
it
Bill.
does look like a
I mean,
vagina.
Kevin, what does that look like?
Now I will say it has a marble in the middle. You would want the marble
clit's
to
at
be
the
at the top,
top,
right?
yeah.
That is the one thing according
But,
to the
I mean,
internet.
in
If it's
general,
real,
you make a little thing like that. It's
a little
gonna
better
be-
than.
Yeah, no, that
it
looks
is what
like
it
a
is.
puss.
I mean, she was looking for
That looks
Billy
like a
just to
puss.
just to
I
beat
mean,
it
Billy
up.
was gonna fucking beat the pussy.
That was Zach Wilson. He kind of looks like Zach Wilson a little too, right? Then he had the
cut his
BYU
hair.
Yeah, the hair and a headband at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Wheeler is like, he feels like he's 100 years older than her.
Yeah.
And he's just complaining about the kids eating all like the food in the house. It's like, bro, you're under attack by an unstoppable dark force. Shut the fuck up about the Eggos or whatever, man. I feel like the setup for the final. Well, I guess you said we're gonna jump ahead in the future. But
That's what I think I read somewhere. I think I read
I
that,
thought, like,
and it's
we're
going to be
gonna-
traditional episode lengths, and then I think there is going to be a big finale, which would make sense.
But that even does make sense to me the finale is going to be 60-minute episodes, but the season
I
4 you had to
swear
do an hour and a
God,
half.
Bro, I think we're getting played by like big Netflix. Like the whole world thought this shit was the final season, and they did all the wacky things with the lengths. And I think someone said like, no, sorry, we need one more season out of you to make another $100 million.
Could COVID have possibly fucked it up, or maybe a Netflix said like, dude, do you see what our stock looks like right now?
Right, that's what I mean. Like they
30 million episodes
because they're gonna all be fucking like 21 and like have moved on. And
It's almost like It. Did you see the second It movie?
Yeah,
Like they're adults in that movie.
Yeah, 'cause
it's
it
almost
had to
gonna
be.
feel like
It had to
that.
be.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, fine. I actually think that they've done a good job transitioning to adults more than any. Like by
True.
now, I would have thought this show sucked.
It would be awkward. Yeah.
Like,
No.
Saved by
Yeah.
the Bell
This
and
was.
Boy
I
Meets
thought
World
this
and
was
all
the
those
best
shows,
season
like-
actually.
Yeah, I think that Vekna was a very cool villain. Like how it all connected was very cool. I thought bringing Barb back was a move.
Yeah, it's
like
I like
where he's
that.
preying
Just for
upon
that little
all your
moment, yeah.
guilts and shit like that, and tying it in as one. I like 11 thinking she was the one who massacred everybody.
Yeah, that
and
was
being
good.
Guilty, and that's why she doesn't have her powers. And then learning it wasn't because it was this bad guy. In the moment where I did think they kind of telegraphed it a little bit. I think it would have been a cooler moment if when he's getting one tattooed on, if we really didn't know. Like by then I knew.
True.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
If it was like, what's going on, and you're like, oh fuck, he's one. But by then I think they laid it on pretty thick. But I think they did a really good job at like tying all of that
Making
together.
the villain one too. Making 11's villain like this was
The one.
subject A. This was the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
one. Like that was badass.
Like, and really at the end of the day, when you think about it, like what they did to those kids. I mean, I guess that kid was fucked up and was a problem anyway, but he then just tried to experiment and make a bunch of others. It's fucked up what he
Fucked
doing.
up.
Oh yeah.
Like those are not good people. They're not good guys.
And that's it. Like when Papa died, I'm like, I didn't know you were dead. I thought you were dead 3 times and
Right.
didn't know you were alive. And then it's like, was he a really, really bad guy? Did he have the right intentions?
That's what I mean, like,
it's very
But
innocuous.
at the end of the day, if you're like taking kids out of the real
Yes.
world and putting them in fucking cages, and it's like you're not a good person.
hard to be a good person when that's said.
Yeah, that's pretty much the bar's pretty low. If that's
We were talking necklaces, so I got to get your weigh in on this. Miss Kelly, she's on our sus list here. Have you seen this one? There's a clock on her neck when she's meeting, and she's meeting with all these kids.
who's this?
This is the guidance counselor.
Remember
Miss
they were
Kelly.
like, oh, all the kids that Vekna abducts are visiting the guidance counselor.
And they did
she's
mention
got a
it,
clock.
and it's a fucking clock on her neck. It kind of looks like a key.
I
Even.
really thought she was going to be involved somehow.
Yeah. So this is the girl. She talks to all the different kids. She talks to all the kids about.
She was in the beginning, like
Yeah.
she didn't really appear later on.
Max
in the
goes to
series.
her, right? And
Yep.
then I think I don't know if the
Chrissy.
kid that Chrissy goes to her. Which, by the way, Chrissy, we said in the episode after the episode 1 recap, Chrissy, the head cheerleader, and the guys like Eddie, who are like the drug dealer rock dudes, they are the 2 scariest people in high school for the complete different reasons.
Yep,
You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep,
And I
totally.
kind of love that they like hit it off in this show. It was very cool.
And they said, like, in the first episode, oh, in another life, we would be in this.
Yeah.
And then they're both dead by the end of it. So good for them.
This theory here about Miss Kelly, the guidance counselor, this feels a little bit.
You think
straight-
Reddity?
a little bit True Detective, Reddity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, why would the guidance counselor? What like?
She would have to somehow be in love with Vekna or something. Yeah,
like it's
true.
just like there's too many. This is a bridge too far. You know.
Do you think Vecna's kind of like he's always looking for the T though? He's like one of those. I don't know if they even say the T. Do kids still say
yeah,
the T,
yeah,
Bob?
you say the T.
So it's like
you're so mid, Clem.
it's so mid. I used that the other day, and someone's like, "Good going, Clem. Like you're trying it out." But it's like he's like, "Oh yeah, Max, that was a really bad memory you had there, huh?" You know, like I do think he's like such a little gossipy bitch.
Well, he's very gossipy and he's very vain. Like you said, like. But first, I'm gonna tie you up and make you watch.
Yeah.
It's like, haven't you ever seen a movie, Vekna? That's where you gotta give the good guy enough time.
Guess
You
they don't have
asshole.
movies in the Upside Down.
I
He
guess
forgot.
Not.
Yeah.
I guess not.
But the way that all came together, I thought was very like when you learn what the episode. I think they said they changed it where in the initial cut it was red when she banishes him there, and then they changed it to yellow, and then he turns it red when he starts, Vecnaing everybody.
That is
And
cool.
I like that.
I like that whole sequence.
Yeah, I the whole thing was cool. It moved quick. Like when they at first when the girls were going to the institute, I was kind of like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
But then that became the house, and the house became the thing. And
Yeah, for the run times, we were actually saying every episode, it
Moved.
never felt like it was dragging.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I can't believe we got to do another 90-minute episode. Kind of felt
no,
normal.
no, it was fine.
By the end of
You know what I
episodes, it was
really
like,
liked?
oh, it's done.
the physics and the gravity behind climbing in and out of the upside down.
Oh, he went
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah,
I
that was
think
cool.
it's very cool. All of it visually has always been very cool.
Yeah.
Again, and have you noticed that we have not said one fucking thing about Russia.
Yeah,
That's true.
Like
You don't need
that
to,
Line
yeah.
that storyline just was not necessary. That was
Mid.
just like it was mid. It
Mid,
was so
very mid.
We just needed to keep Hopper, on the back burner for the finale.
Yeah.
Even the reunion, like I thought, was lacking. I used to like cry over
Yeah.
her and him and 11, and this was just like, I don't know.
11's always wearing the bracelet. Did you notice that with
Yeah,
with like the daughter and stuff? But even Winona, like I know it's like a nice moment, but when they're like changing and it's like, you motherfuckers better have sex right now. You've been in Russian jail for a year. You
might die.
You smuggled yourself into the Soviet Union for this guy.
Yeah.
How have you not fucked 4 times?
All right,
since
I
you
know we're
met saw
wrapping
each
up
other?
here, but I when I was watching that scene, I thought, if you were in this situation, a literal one like you're running from a Russian prison,
Yeah.
or a fake one like you're in the Upside Down, like Nancy and Steve are kind of like holding hands and getting cutesy in the Upside Down shit. If you were in, Zombie Land, they're attacking you. Are you really getting your dick up and trying to get your dick wet?
No, you can't physically.
Right? Like,
right?
aren't
That's
you?
true.
If your
I mean,
life is in danger, I think there's no way the little
but
guy's
like,
coming up.
Okay, but even let's say you're in The Walking Dead, where it's like we found a house and we're safe for the night.
Different.
Are you still getting your fuck on?
I think you're getting your fuck
Think
on.
so? Because
Yeah.
you're like, I got to do it before I die, sort
You're
of
like
thing.
nothing else to do, no
Yeah.
Wi-Fi anymore.
But even that,
That's some
sometimes
Arya
I'm just
shit,
like-
right? That's
Like
what Arya
when they
did.
were flirting in the Upside Down, like they're like literally stepping over these roots from trees that are evil and shit. I'm like, are you really trying to get your dick wet right now? Dude? Now, of all places?
Not in the
Man.
Upside Down. You no way are you
Yeah,
fucking
you
in the
can't fuck
Upside
an
Down.
alternate reality.
No. But
There's-
Walking Dead, all right, we're months into this thing. It's like, I don't know. It's a little pandemic.
Can you imagine next season if like Will is not Will? Who's I always forget their name.
Michael?
Mike is fucking 11, like in the
Like they have
in a
scenes where
classic
Will's like
scene.
knocking
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
they're
like
like,
in, the
in a
scene where-
minute.
Like, did you see in Modern Family towards the end of the season, the late seasons when they have sex doggy style in that show?
What?
Who?
Yeah.
Claire?
Claire and Phil.
Phil? What? No.
There's this, swear to
Kevin,
God,
I don't.
bro.
I this
Swear to
ruining
God.
You,
things for
I
me,
feel like I'm watching my own
Modern.
parents have sex. You
Yeah.
saying that?
Modern, because Haley comes in and
and they're doing it doggy
and
style.
And
her
they're like
head-
in that position.
her head is like sticking out of the covers, and I think it was like the first time on. Oh jeez.
Oh my
You
God.
Look at that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like her head sticking out of the sheets.
She's
and-
on all
and-
fours.
And Phil, I don't know
yeah.
what that all is.
They
but
call
like-
that the prone
Oh,
bone,
yeah,
I believe.
I think they walk in on like Mother's Day and like, yeah, she's getting prone boned, and
Wow.
so imagine they do like it's gonna be 2024 or whatever by the time this comes out. Sex scenes are getting even like more realistic on TV. Are we gonna like? Is 11 gonna be like giving head?
Oh, I
Will
hope
Papa
not.
be back alive to watch it?
All right.
I never died in that
That's a
desert.
perfect note to end it on with Papa.
we got to do the fast food review with our
Oh,
fellow
yeah.
snacking off guy here.
We do fast food reviews for all shows, all
Okay.
TV shows, movies, anything like that. So it's if it were a fast food item, what would it be?
So I have mine all ready for you. Did you?
No, I
put
didn't know
one
we were
together?
doing it for a show. We usually do it for movies.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do it?
yeah, yeah. Fuck it.
All right, so my fast food item, I just had it the other day, and I was like, this is fucking Stranger Things 4. So it has to be Stranger Things 4.
Yeah.
The cheddar chalupa. I'm a chalupa guy. I think chalupa is a fucking incredible fast food item. It's probably my go-to Taco Bell item.
Really?
Yep. But it's a little different. It's a little different. You get the cheddar on it. It's a cheddar shell or whatever the fuck. It's Taco Bell. There's like 6 ingredients. They just slap it on there. And I was like, this is good. It's different.
Oh my God.
And it's better than I expected. And that's season 4. The way they ended volume 1, which by the way, volume 1 and volume 2, it's a little fancy for my
Yeah,
liking,
yeah,
for
yeah.
a Netflix show.
Right.
But I said, holy shit. I go, this is exactly. So immediately I was like, Stranger Things 4, cheddar chalupa.
I got one in my head. Just came in and into my head. I think I've used this one before. I'm gonna go with a Big Mac because I actually don't get a Big Mac very often. But every time I get one, I'm reminded like, oh shit, these are pretty fucking good.
There's
and
a reason
also,
why it's number 1.
they're
Yeah,
loaded.
exactly.
They're
Yeah.
huge. You're like, am I gonna eat that whole
Dense,
thing?
yeah.
But by the end of it, you're like, oh, I ate the whole thing, and I
really
didn't
need
even
to rush
notice
right
it.
now. Man, there's a lot of
Yeah.
shit here.
So I'm gonna go Big Mac.
I'm gonna go high praise, with a twist. I'm gonna go cheesy gordita crunch,
Oh, that is
Okay.
high praise.
but
Yes, high
with
praise.
the Dorito Locos
Oh,
shell.
is that legal?
Because yeah, they make
street
that.
legal.
They make that. it's you might have to ask. It's like on the secret menu.
Yeah,
but
secret
they'll do
menu.
it. Because I thought again, we had Steve and Dustin were a pair. We had 11 regaining her powers. We've done a lot of the classics, but there was some elements that were twisted and up, like elevated, and that's the Dorito Loco shell. So it's like a classic with some extra. That's what I thought the season 4 was.
Look at
I
this
like
guy,
that.
man.
And
the
for
crap.
me-
Right into the
Hopped
basement.
right into it.
For me, cheesy gordita. The only reason I hesitated because I think cheesy gordita crunch is like the #1 item in fast food history.
A lot of people
A
say
lot
that.
of people
So,
do. Yeah.
So don't take it to mean that because I don't think it's the greatest ever.
Yep.
Maybe I'll just say a hard taco from a Taco Supreme, but with the Doritos Locos shell because it's like a classic, but with a twist. That's better because the cheesy gordita crunch is reserved for like True Detective season 1 type shit.
Yeah, royalty.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. All right. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to My Mom's Basement, our Stranger Things 4 review. We'll do a Stranger Things 5 preview. We didn't do one for this season because we were like, should we recap it? Should we not? We're in at this
We
point.
forgot how good the show was in like the 7 years in
we really
between
did, I
episodes.
know.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Kevin.
You got it, man. Thank you guys.